South Asia is the new focus for global economy. Here, two giants are competing for regional and global supremacy: India and China. In present scenario, Chinese economy is way ahead. China is largest trading nation in the world. It is the second largest economy with nominal GDP of 14.13 trillion. India is the seventh largest economy with nominal GDP 2.29 trillion. The difference is huge. Chinese economic reform that started in December 1978 by reformists within the Communist Party of China, led by Deng Xiaoping, has led China to a leading position in global economy. Chinese economic growth since the reform has been rapid. Economists estimate China's GDP growth from 1978 to 2013 at between 9.5% to around 11.5% a year. China is widely seen as an engine of world and regional growth. But recently, concerns about slowing Chinese economy are pushing investors towards its rival brother, India. Still, India will take decades to catch up with China. Since 2014, the world is eagerly watching India and its new Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. Despite many political hurdles, he managed to push through some vital key economic reforms. Latest and most significant was Goods and Services Tax Bill for taxation reform. These reforms are comparable to China's economic reform, but pace of reform is slow because of obstructive politics. Still, the World Bank said that India is going to remain the fastest growing nation, while China will experience a slowdown. Chinese economy is stable and growing, but China's one-child policy will cause an aging population and increase labor cost. But India has the largest youth population and very low labor cost. China has been criticized for unfair trade practices, like currency devaluation, intellectual property theft, local favoritism due to one-party oligopoly by the Communist Party of China, with social market economy. China is export-driven country. It buys US dollars to devaluate its own currency. Thus, production in China remains profitable and Chinese goods remain cheap. India does not engage in such unfair practices. According to US Treasury, China buys dollars and then invests it back in US security bonds. Thus, China has become largest foreign holder of US debt. Anti-China sentiment is very strong in US. There are few other concerns too. China grew too quickly, and it kept devaluating its currency to keep its export engine alive. With economic slowdown, China is making $6 to $7 debt to make $1 worth of growth. This graph illustrates the number of loans made by Chinese banks from 2003 to 2014. Loans grew to 30 trillion. 15% of those are believed to be bad loan. We all know what happens when such banking bubble bursts. In 2008 financial crisis, US lost 900 billion. Fallout for China will be worse. Chinese economic slowdown will affect global economy because China is no doubt the growth engine. Those worry pushing investors towards India, which is more stable at this point. India has a huge consumer market, large tech-savvy English-speaking population, which are also making it a favorite investment destination. Still, India has a long way to go from improving its infrastructure to reform education system. China has ideal industrial environment with stable tax regime, good infrastructure, and huge trained labor force. Indian government is taking some good measures to improve in those aspects, like vigorous economic and taxation reforms, fast-tracking infrastructure project, providing training to youth under Skilled India initiative. In South Asia, the competition between two giants is becoming focus of global economy.